Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace both the front and the rear brakes on a GM vehicle. This happens to be a 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix, however this process is the same for various other vehicles. There's some tools that you're going to need. I'll walk through the necessary tools on each individual step, but I want to show you how you can very easily do this yourself and stop wasting hundreds if not thousands of dollars having someone replace something when you can do it for a fraction of that cost. After you jack the vehicle up, put some jack stands, set your emergency brake and wheel chocks in the back, then we're ready to go ahead and remove the wheel. And this is just going to be a 19 mil. Alright, so the first thing we'll talk about here real quick, if you're not familiar with how brakes work, it's just a real simple setup. There's rotor, caliper, and brake pad. When you apply the brakes in your vehicle, this caliper is simply going to squeeze on this rotor, and that's what makes your vehicle stop. How you can typically tell when these go bad, obviously you probably have heard the squealing. There's some squeal indicators on the pads when the pads run out. However, most pads in the last 10-15 years, they hardly ever run out, and it's this rotor that typically goes bad before the pads. So when you're replacing the rotor, it's just recommended to also replace the pad as well. How you can tell that the rotor is bad, there's a few different ways. If you can run your finger across here, you'll feel little grooves in there. If you go look at a brand new rotor, you won't see any of those grooves on there at all. Another sure bet way is when you're braking, you'll feel a pulsating in the brake pedal. So that's a for sure another sign that these are going bad. To get started, we're going to remove the two bolts here that are holding the caliper to the caliper bracket. To do that, you just need a 15 mil. One comment I'll make here real quick, if you watch what I did there, sometimes it's very hard to get some of these bolts removed. Obviously you can use impacts and stuff, and I do that a lot of times when I'm working on the vehicle, but you may or may not have one of these. So if you need an easy way to get some of these bolts loose, I do this all the time where I'll have it like this, then I'll just use something else to hitch my ratchets. Now, I've been doing this for probably 20 years on these ratchets, and as you can see, it doesn't hurt them at all. But it's a very easy way to get some of these bolts loose. So then just remove those two bolts. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be compressing this caliper, because as you can see here, it's on there pretty tight. So what you need to do is we're going to use a C-clamp to apply some pressure here, and what that will do, that'll push the pistons inside the caliper so you're able to get it released off the rotor. Now, one thing that you must do before you do this, you need to go up to your engine compartment. There's a brake fluid reservoir. You need to make sure you loosen that cap up and monitor how much fluid's in there. If you guys ever went to any shops and they always brag about they topped all your fluids off, sometimes you get some of the bad mechanics that will put brake fluid in there. Well, what happens is as your brake pads decrease over time, that fluid starts slowly coming down in your reservoir. But when you compress this and you're going to put new pads on there, that fluid is going to rise up there. So if somebody went up and topped off your fluid at some point in there, what's going to happen, you could potentially blow out your seal. So you need to keep that in mind if you're compressing any of these calipers. You need to constantly make sure that your reservoir is not overflowing up there. So we'll go ahead and loosen that up right now. Now we're ready to compress the caliper. So to do that, take your C-clamp, and you're just going to find a spot on the back. Make sure you're not doing the clamp on your brake hose. And you're going to watch as we do this, it's going to slowly start loosening up that caliper. So we'll just do it a little bit there. And as you can see, your caliper came out. The next thing I typically do is I will compress the rest of this in there, because when you get your new pads on there, this needs to be compressed all the way back in there so your thicker pads, because they're brand new, will fit in there when you go to install them. So we'll go back up here, and you watch as that piston will get compressed back into the caliper. Alright, so after that's compressed, then I take one of these caliper hangers, I'll hang this and I'll hang it up here on the strut just to get it out of the way. Now we're ready to remove the brake caliper bracket. And to do that, there's just two 15 mil bolts on the back side here. Then after you get those two bolts, your caliper bracket comes off, and then you can simply pull your rotor off. Now, some years they put set screws on these. If you have a set screw in here, just make sure you remove that, then the rotor will come out. All right, so now we're ready to prep our caliper bracket. So the first thing you need to notice is the orientation of how that pad went in there. Clearly, if you put this in there on the vehicle, if you put this upside down, it's not going to fit. So just kind of make a note of on each side where that's oriented. Then you're going to simply slide these pads out like that. Now, typically when you get new pads, they usually will come with some of this lubricant and these clips here that will hold your brake pads. For whatever reason, this brand here did not include these, so I'm going to have to get a wire brush and some brake clean and clean that out. But if you have new clips in there, just pop these off and install your new ones on both sides there. Next thing we're going to do is take some of our disc brake lube and we're going to put it on each one of these areas here. If it didn't come with any, you can easily get this at any of your local auto parts store as well. But we'll go ahead and use this since it came with them. And you don't have to put a lot on here. You're literally just putting a little bit on there. And that just gives a little bit of lubrication for this pad so it can easily slide in and out when you're applying the brakes. And you can go ahead and put a little bit on these corners here if you want. But as long as you got good coverage on there, it's really not required. Alright, so now we're ready to thread our brake pads in there. If you're going to notice on some of these, sometimes you'll have all four of your pads will have the wear indicators on here, but most of the time it's only two of the pads, so you clearly don't want to put both of these on one side. This one will be saved for the other side of the vehicle, so we'll use one of these as well that does not have the wear indicator. Most of the times when brake pads wear out, they wear out first on the inside. So what I typically do is I will put the wear indicator on the inside. So all you're going to do is simply take your pad there, you're going to set it in there, and you're going to come over here, and you're going to set it in there. If you notice how easily that's sliding in there, you need to make sure it's sliding that easy. If it's not, you need to see what needs to be adjusted here. Maybe the clip needs to be pushed back, or something needs adjusted. If that's in there tight, when you go to apply your brakes, it will be on there so tight, it will not pull off the rotor, and you'll just wear out your pads a lot quicker. But if you have good movement like that, then you should be all set. So then just go ahead and thread the other side in there as well. And now we're ready to go install that on the vehicle. So first, go ahead and put your rotor back up there. Then you're going to take your bracket. And sometimes it's almost easier to put these pads in after the bracket's mounted on here. But I wanted to make sure I did that first to kind of show you the operation. So then go ahead and take those two 15 mil bracket bolts and go ahead and thread those back in. After you get those snugged up, then we're going to torque these to 133 foot-pounds. Now we're ready to install the caliper back on there. Just make sure when you're bringing it down here, don't put an unnecessary bind on your brake hose. Just make sure it's sitting in there like that. Then you're going to set it in here. And you're going to notice these boots back here. Make sure you push those in so you're not breaking those. So on both the top and the bottom, push those boots in. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take our caliper pin bolts and we're going to need to make sure we clean these off. And it's very important that you clean this off and you put fresh brake lube on here, because when this goes in there, this needs to have the ability for this caliper to go in and out when you're applying the brakes. So we'll clean both of them up like that. One other note here, you'll notice on this specific model, the top bolt has a bushing here. As you see the bottom, it's a solid design. So we want to make sure we install this one here with the bushing on the top. So then take some of your brake lube And you don't got to get wild with this, but you're just putting a little bit in there. Then you're going to insert it back into there and make sure you're getting it through that rubber part there as well. But you want to make sure that it's able to go in and out very easily like that is. Once you confirm that both of them can do that, then you can go ahead and tighten these, and these are going to get tightened to 70 foot-pounds. Alright, so after you get those two bolts torqued to spec as well, just make sure everything's seated in here correctly. Then go ahead and repeat that same process on the other side in the front. Then we'll go to the rear, and then we'll start on the rear brakes. Alright, so as we move to the back here, the one thing that you need to make note on the back, you need to make sure you release your emergency brake, because if you don't, you won't be able to get this caliper off here. So go ahead and remove this wheel as well. So after the wheel is removed, the setup is very similar back here, but there's a few differences. On the caliper, the bolt is going to be a 14 mil, the caliper bracket bolt is going to be a 13 mil, and also when we compress this caliper, we're going to have to use a tool because we have emergency brake back here. You have to ratchet that piston back in there, and you have to use a tool. So I'll show you how to do that here in a minute after we get these two removed here. One comment I'll make here real quick, if you're removing these bolts and this inner piece right here is moving with it, just get a crescent wrench or an open end wrench and put it right here so you can have some leverage, and eventually it'll break loose. So that's what we have to do on this bottom one. Not all the time do you have to do that, but you will run into this on occasion. Alright, so now the two caliper bolts are removed. As you can see, it's on there pretty tight. So what we'll do is we'll just do an initial little compression with our C-clamp. Now keep in mind, you're not going to be able to compress this very much because you have to ratchet the piston in, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But at least this will give you a little bit of leverage so it's not as tight on there, so you can get this off. So as you can see there, we just compressed it a little bit. Now we got enough room to get that off just like that. All right, so as you can see, our rear caliper is a little bit different. It has these notches on both sides. So when we're going to compress this, it's not going to just simply compress back in there. There's a disc brake tool that we need to use. That'll go in there and it'll turn that piston in so it goes in for you. You can either rent that or you can buy the one similar to the one I have here today. I bought it on Amazon years ago and it comes in handy. Then also when you're going to install the pads, there's typically notches on the back of the pad. You need to make sure that's lined up right here so that goes in correctly. So let me show you how you can compress this piston in. So this is the tool that we're going to be using here. As I mentioned there, if you don't want to buy one, you can go rent one of these for free at your local auto parts store. So what you're going to do is you're going to first take this piece with these two notches, and those two notches are going to line up in there like that. Next you're going to take this piece here, and what this is going to do is this is going to give you the leverage. Go right here. You're going to take your extension, then your extension is going to come through here, and it's going to clip on the back of that. Then you're going to use your ratchet in this in order to ratchet that piston in. So then after you get it tight and installed there, take your ratchet over here, and you're going to simply ratchet that in until you see the piston compressing inside the caliper. And as it keeps compressing in there, you're going to want to make sure you keep tightening this. and eventually you'll get it compressed in there far enough. Simply remove your tool, and now that's done, compressed in there. And we'll just go ahead and take our caliper hanger and hang this caliper out of the way. All right, so now we'll get the bracket bolts off, and this is just going to be a 13 mil. And your bracket and your rotor should come right off. All right, now we can put our new rotor up there. And we're going to take our bracket, similar to how I showed you on the front. We'll lubricate those, then we'll set that in there. Then tighten the caliper bracket bolts to 96 foot-pounds. So the next thing we want to do is we want to lubricate these pins here, similar to the front where the pins came out. This setup is a little bit different back here. So what you're going to want to do is pull those out, put a little bit of your brake lube on there, and you're simply going to thread that back in there. And just make sure this boot gets connected back onto the caliper bracket here. So do that for the top and the bottom. All right, so now we're ready to put our caliper back on here. To do that, you need to make a note of this little notch on the back of your pad here. And you need to make sure you put in the correct pad back there. The notch has to go on the back. If you notice over here on your piston, you have that notch there. So if your piston isn't 100% square there where that notch is going to line up, just rotate it a little bit so you're able to get that in there. Now we're ready to take our caliper, and after you got your piston lined up with the notch in the back, go ahead and slide this on. You're going to insert your two caliper bolts. You're going to torque these bolts to 25 foot-pounds. Alright, so after you get that torque to spec there, just verify all your bolts are tight on here, then just repeat that same process on the other side. So then the last thing you need to do, just make sure you go up to your engine compartment there and close the brake reservoir. You want to make sure you close that, then you're officially done with your brake job, and you save yourself hundreds if not thousands of dollars by doing this yourself. So hopefully this helped you out. If it did, please give me the thumbs up. If you're interested in more content like this, please hit that subscribe. But again, I hope this helped you out. Thanks for watching.